tracks today. Purchase your 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 tracks today.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to Table Talk Show with Nikki the Voice. I'm here with my special guest, Jin Jin. I'm going to introduce her in the second half, when we get back from the short intermission. But I just want to welcome you back to the show. This morning we have so much in store for you, so much in store for you. Jen she's multi-talented, and I'm super excited. I've known her for years, right? For years. So you'll get to hear that beautiful voice very soon when she introduces herself, right? We have so much going on actually in the world today, just in how should I say, in America, or I should say the whole world, because Twitter is in an uproar. So we're gonna try and touch on that. Another thing too, I'm wearing this fancy tie because over the weekend, they always say, "Oh, enjoy your weekend" and stuff like that. And well, I had a little minor, I shouldn't say minor, but it's minor to me now, but before it was a big thing, I had a little minor accident, and I rolled down the stairs and stuff, and I'm wearing this fancy hat. So I decided, or some friends told me, you know what, Nicole, you could see a little thing right here, but I don't want to traumatize you guys with what's going on. But I'm from the Caribbean, and we use a lot of herbs and different things in order to get better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a documentary, because I think it's best. So you know how to heal, some medicines that you can use. I mean, of course, you have to do what your doctor recommends, right? But these are just simple things. Like I had a scar here. You could probably see a little bit. I have some underneath here. And I use some concealers to conceal that. But before, my eyes was super puffy and red. And then you could see some things here, right? So I use aloes and some different things. And I know people are interested in that because you want to know what are some of the natural healers that you can use. And I'm sure Jin, when we get back, she could give you some tips on that as well. All right. So I hope you're logged into islandvybe.net. You could listen to it on the radio. You could also listen to it on YouTube. Island Vibes is on YouTube. You could also go to Table Talk Show with nikkigthevoice. We're logged on there if you want to see us. And also on Facebook, you could go to islandvybe.net. Oh, I just type in Island Vibe and then you will get us on there, right? So I'm super glad to be on live and keep it locked. We have lots in store. Keep it locked to Table Talk Show and Islandvybe Radio.
Broadcasting live from Philadelphia, Islandvybe, Philly's newest and hottest station.
You're listening to IslandVibes.net. All your hits banging right here. Philly #1 Caribbean station. Best in dancehall.
Undisputed champion. Heavyweight, world great. I the make Gaza celebrate.
Call the Uber now. I am coming to ya.
Reggaeton.
Algunos parecen todavía viven en el siglo de la hombría, que te arreglo solo para ellos y que para tu hombre te maquilla.
Soca.
Love in my heart, rum in my veins. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again.
And more. IslandVibes.net.
Come on to party, drink some rum and break it. So come on, let me take a little drink now. Party! You guys, it's your girl Anika Berry, and guess what? I am officially a brand ambassador and artist of the Petopia Carnival Cruise, and we are going to the Bahamas, June 2nd through June 9th. And guess what the best part is? We are leaving out of Brooklyn. We don't have to buy no flights, no hotels. It's just straight from Brooklyn to the Bahamas for a 7-day ultra premium experience, all inclusive. I'm so excited. We're gonna have 14 events on the cruise, on the land in the Bahamas. We're just gonna drink. We're gonna get lashed up. You're gonna see your favorite artists perform. We're getting everything on this boat. So make sure to reserve your spot now and come and chat with me because we will have a time with Petopia.
Bust it.
Welcome to Table Talk with Nikkig the Voice, where we bring to you highlights of entrepreneurs, leaders, organizers, and much more.
Cross the finish line. I'll be coming back for you.
A broad spectrum of professionals, including chefs, artists, designers, musicians, and much more. Our show is a new brand of talk shows where we educate, bring transparency, and last but not least, fun. Table Talk. Get ready for our seasons, a roller coaster of emotions, all wrapped into one. Caribbean style. We'll cover our Caribbean roots as well, so keep it locked. Welcome to Table Talk. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and iTunes.
Own it. Girl, you just own it. 'Cause your body's on fire. Show me how to control it.
Table Talk Show is now on Island Vibes Radio. You can catch us every Saturday from 10 to 12 p.m. Log on to Island Vibes, Philly, or islandvybe.net.
Come on to party, drink some rum and break it. So come on, let me take a little drink now. Party! You guys, it's your girl Anika Berry, and guess what? I am officially a brand ambassador and artist of the Petopia Carnival Cruise, and we are going to the Bahamas, June 2nd through June 9th. And guess what the best part is? We are leaving out of Brooklyn. We don't have to buy no flights, no hotels. It's just straight from Brooklyn to the Bahamas for a 7-day ultra premium experience, all inclusive. I'm so excited. We're gonna have 14 events on the cruise, on the land in the Bahamas. We're just gonna drink. We're gonna get lashed up. You're gonna see your favorite artists perform. We're getting everything on this boat. So make sure to reserve your spot now and come and chat with me because we will have a time with Petopia.
young cast. Last, now everybody go to breakfast. Shayo. You go bow for the result, oh. Nothing to discuss, oh. Cause I did win by default and without any doubt, oh. I'm a me happy adult, oh. I no go feed the girl, insult, oh. I'm a mind that's you the talk, oh. I put my life into my job and I know I'm in trouble. She manipulate my love, oh. I know holy and I know that get both. Like the Baba Frayo, my ayo, don't cry, yo. I need to go and shayo. 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 Shayo. I need to go and shayo. I need to go and shayo. I need to go and shayo. I dey Port run then kill Soboma. I dey try to buy moto, one Toyota Corolla. My feelings been they swing like Django Lover. Feelings been they swing like Django Lover. Now you crash your Ferrari for Lucky Bona.
Welcome back to Table Talk Show with Nikki the Voice. I have my beautiful guest. If you're now signing in, her name is Jin Jin. I call her Jin Jin.
Many names, right?
Welcome to Table Talk Show, Jin.
Thank you.
Jin is an editor. She's consultant. It is so much to this beautiful lady. It's unbelievable. So this is what we're here to do today. Explain everything that Jin does. If you're an author, if you're a writer, if you're a consultant, she could give you
just have a business, right?
Could give you some of those, some of that information. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Nikki. I'm really, excited to talk to you. We talk all the time. So, but because I'm always throwing ideas your way and you're the same.
Yeah.
If you see something, you'll share it as well.
Yeah.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Just to mention, when I met Jin, right? I kind of consider her like family because of us knowing each other for so long, right? And she's been around with me through that journey of my business and so forth. And when you have ideas, you want to throw it to someone, you want to express that so they could give you advice as well, and that's how the relationship has been between us, besides birthdays and attending a birthday here and there or a little function and stuff. We'll get into it with how she started and what inspired her and so forth. All right, Jen. But how was your week? Let me first ask, how was your week?
And first of all, we inspire each other, right? I'm a true believer in that. Like what you're doing and your evolution is amazing. It's brilliant. It's just
Thank you.
Well, it's been a hectic week, but I like to be busy. I think since you met me when I was younger, I just always stay busy. That's just who I am. But my daughter turned 25 this week as well. So besides regular work, my ImaJin Consulting business, and celebrating her birthday with the minute that she can squeeze me in, of course, because it's a month-long celebration going on. That's how we do over here.
Right, that's beautiful. So when was the party? I missed that.
It wasn't a party. That's just it. It was literally a last-minute dinner that came out amazing. And to be honest, I will big up Lily Restaurant in Brooklyn. It is owned by Trinidadians as well. I don't know if anybody knows Platinum Sounds and Tamika is and a bunch of them. They're doing well. It's a beautiful establishment. It's upscale. The food service, I can't stop bragging about it, and it's only been last night, like literally.
So since you plug it in, where is this place located?
Utica Avenue. But
on Utica Avenue.
But they've created a great, they took an idea and a vision, and it's just bringing it to fruition. And I definitely like to support all our businesses. I just like to support them. We give everyone else money. We need to put money back in our community, the community that raised me.
That's
right.
True.
So I'll say a little bit. My parents are from Trinidad. My entire family is from Trinidad. I am the first one born here. I realized that later in life, but I like to see it. I'm literally the first one born here, but I've been
Wow.
deeply involved in my culture since birth. They make sure of
Wow.
it. So
Yeah, most times you always think that, when you speak to people, when I watched through your bio, I was like, Jin was born here? So
and I never lie. Like I don't hide it. But
yeah,
it's just if it doesn't come up, I'm not, what is there to say? Like, I'm Trini.
exactly.
What?
You're still Trini. Yeah, you're still
I'm
Trini.
Trini American though, technically, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah, because I was speaking to my son the other day and he was saying, Mom, no matter what, I know I'm Trinidadian. But I know how my kids are. One of my kids was like more Trini. She accepted the Trini thing. And then he was like, you know how they say a late bloomer? He was more of a late bloomer because he
right.
recently
Everyone
went to
has their
Trinidad.
phase. Everyone has their
Exactly.
phase. Right.
Yeah. And he
Right.
recently went to Trinidad. So he got that, the fresh roti, the fresh doubles and all that stuff. Now he's Trinidadian. He's like,
Look, the first
we're
trip
going.
is it.
Yeah.
Especially as an adult, like your first trip how old is he older?
Yeah, he's the oldest, the eldest.
When you go as an adult versus going as a kid is a
Mm-hmm.
totally different thing because you're immersed in it. And especially
Mm-hmm.
depending on what you go for. If you go for carnival, forget it. as your first adult experience at Trinidad.
And that's what happened. He went for carnival. He experienced with his cousins. My heart was in an uproar. And I was like, he's like,
They had it.
"Good." Yeah, but they had him, even though they were a little younger, they had him and stuff, and he enjoyed it. And he was like, I don't want no doubles from up here anymore. I was like, look at you, you know, really,
I
really.
honestly think it's a kind of rite of passage because you watch it as a youth, right? And it's
Mhm.
our culture. But there's a freeness in carnival in Trinidad that no matter what the challenges or whatever's going on, it's like in that moment there's such a freeness. There's such a blending of cultures all getting
Yeah.
along, and
Yeah.
everybody's out there to have a good time and enjoy the music, the pan, everything, the moko jumbies, the mass. It's just beautiful. It's
But let me
poetic,
ask
right?
you, which part of the island do you enjoy? Do you enjoy going to South or doing Carnival or Port of Spain?
Oh no, Port of Spain for me. Yeah, yeah.
She's
Well,
like, oh
my
no.
family is based in Port of Spain. I thought it was a different. I love the whole of Trinidad. Like I like exploring. However, my family was based in Mova and Woodbrook, so
Oh,
I grew up, going visiting there when I
okay.
when I traveled for Carnival. That's where we stay.
Okay.
So
Oh, so my cousins, the Fortunes, they're from Woodbrook area, but I
okay,
grew up in South. I grew up in Vistabella side. So I had the best of both worlds.
right.
But
Yeah, I got the South
funny,
later in life.
yeah, I enjoyed, Carnival in South and stuff, but Port of Spain was a whole new world.
Of course. Just like South would be a whole new world to
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
just for a little background, since we say in our background,
Yeah.
I am a descendant I'm a Cornel, right?
Okay.
And I'm a Bailey as well. So we have
Mm.
the soccer on one side, football, and we have the mass and creativity on the other side. Though there's creativity on both sides because there are some
Mhm.
artists in the Cornel side as well.
Mm.
So that was my background, and really the Cornels, we're all over Trinidad now and the world, but
Yeah.
a lot are still based in Trinidad. So
Okay. So when you say artiste, is it like soca artist singing or artists?
I guess it's a little of both now, right?
Okay.
Because Giselle the Wasi one is my cousin, and
Yeah.
yeah. So if some people know me through her, but
Yeah.
because we're very close, we grew up like sisters, and
Mm.
as well as just like creative art, they may not be renowned, but my daughter's an artist. My uncle and aunts, a few of them draw, but she took it the furthest, I guess, and
Mm.
different levels. But there's a lot of, and the mask makers, there's a lot of mask designers. My cousins have been bringing a band, and my auntie Jenny,
Mm.
they've been bringing a band in Miami for, oh gosh, I don't over 25 years.
With Giselle, the one that Giselle has?
Yes, it's been over
Okay.
25 years, right, in
Okay.
Miami.
What's the name of it?
Just the Wasi
Okay.
one,
Oh,
right?
the name of the band is the Wasi one.
Yes, and
Okay.
also, I mean, my grandfather on my mother's side is a Bailey, so like everything from helping to design the crest, one of his brothers did the crest for Trinidad. So there's a little bit of family history there, and
Yeah.
so we're related to the Baileys as well.
And you know, the funny thing is not to outshine or talk about any other island, because every island has their own identity.
Of
But
course.
I mean, as one Caribbean, you know, but I see why Trinidadians are proud people, you know, business minded, or I should say Trini American.
It's okay.
Or
I claim it all. I claim
yeah,
it all.
exactly.
And I'm open
It's
to
like
every culture. Everybody, all my friends know that because my friends are from all over.
yeah,
So
I
it's
think
like
it's the
I soak it all in.
yeah, the drive that we have, you know, um, so many different things that we do, like yourself. Like when I said, Janine does consulting, Gina's like, no, 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 I do this, I do this, I do this, I do right. I was like, okay. So many things. But when we first started speaking, you know, when you speak to friends, you're like, you know, I'm not too sure what I want to get into. This is what I do, that is what I do. And then now, let's say 5 years after, is like you actually doing five things all at once and now just blossomed, you know, really blossomed.
So maybe we should talk about what I do, right? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So my
But
name
I
is
want to
Jin.
start from, I don't want to go jump straight in. I want to
Okay.
find out from childhood what inspired you in order to be a consultant and how it started and so forth.
Well, I'm in love with words, right? And I think that's started as long as I know myself, I'm with a book. It actually, you know, it's something you get teased about, but then everybody get used to it. So they're like, oh, that's Janine. She always with her books. Don't matter. I could be going to a party in 10 minutes. I could read a book before. You know,
Wow.
if I'm waiting on you, I'm picking up a book to read. If I'm on a
Mm.
plane, I have a book to read. And it's partially because of our upbringing, right? When we would travel, whether it was Trinidad or one of Daddy's business trips, mommy would make sure she packed books for me to keep us busy, you know, keep the
Yeah.
kids busy so they behave. And for me, books and magazines worked. And I fell in love with books and magazines. So wherever we went, it became a tradition to kind of let me go while in a bookstore, you know, buy two books, it became buy more, right? And
Yeah.
I would literally just walk around the bookstore, explore. And I've been doing this since childhood with her. And libraries, my parents were very strict in Brooklyn, so we couldn't go everywhere. Your family is your friends. And well,
Yeah.
we have a big family because it's extended family. But Granary Plaza Library, I would go. I would max
Mm.
out my books. But what you notice is what kind of books were you getting there? You weren't getting Caribbean books there, right?
Mm.
I was getting the Caribbean books when I went to Trinidad, right?
Okay.
At the
Okay.
time back then. And so I was lucky to be fed in both ways. I wasn't just getting the literature that was out in the libraries and in bookstores here in the US. I was
Yeah.
getting the Caribbean flavor when I
Yeah.
went there as well to
Yeah.
read. And I always liked history. So I would watch the news. I still watch the news when I go to Trinidad. I read history books. You know, I'm not saying I'm that well versed because, of course, since joining some of these book clubs, I've realized I need to read a lot more. But that's
Yeah.
why I joined book clubs of different varieties so that it
Yeah.
feeds all the flavors of reading I love because I love it all.
Okay. So
Most of
talking about so talking about history, right? And you know, the place that you went prior. What brought to my mind is the West Indian Reader.
right.
So you remember the red book that they
I
would
actually have a joke about that. When my daughter was born,
yeah.
I just found certain things with the math and the reading. I didn't like I feel like she needed a little more, right?
Okay, here
And
in
yeah, she
America.
was here. Yeah, she was
Okay.
born here. I
Mm.
called a cousin in Trinidad, Cuba actually, because they moved around. And
Yeah.
I said, hey, you know, the education system there is better. We all know that. Like I know that. I felt that since I was younger. And I said, could you send me some stuff? And she sent me a reader and I think she sent me a math. And I used to work with Cavani to try to explain to her, okay, they do the math like this. But
Yeah.
if you think of it like this, you can also get the answer. Because the way it taught you to think, like I remember daddy teaching me math and he probably doesn't even realize but it helps me to this day. If you're adding numbers like 157 and 352, if you take it bit by bit and then put it together, it's
Mm-hmm.
faster
Yeah.
than trying to actually be overwhelmed by the two numbers and and trying to add it fast,
True.
right? So it's like a trick, sort of, but it was how they learned
Yeah.
and taught me, and just him teaching me as a kid, and it
Yeah.
stuck,
Yeah.
because I would get answers faster or be able to check my work faster or check change faster. And it's funny, the little things that stick with you, you know?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
remember when he taught me as such, but I know that's how it came. So
Yeah, it's
I
a
believe
simple.
in those things.
But that's how my math teacher did. He did the same thing. He would do the prime numbers and he'll do those numbers and get you accustomed and he'll just call it out, and then you'll add them together and then he'll do bigger numbers. And because it's already
Yeah.
in your mind of how right, and then you'll get it, you
And
know?
but you went to school there.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So teaching my kids over here was totally different.
Yes, it is. And it keeps changing.
Yeah,
It evolves.
totally different. Yeah. You know, so your kids, do they have the
Hey,
liking?
let's back up. I have one.
Oh, okay.
One and done. I am
Why
okay with one.
I don't know why it came to mind a
I
boy and a girl for
I
some
adopt a
reason.
lot of people's kids.
Ah,
All my friends' kids are mine. First of all my friends' children are mine, even if I just met them.
yeah. But does your daughter have the liking for books like you do, or?
So the funny thing is, I got it from my mother, and my daughter definitely inherited it. And just this week, she was telling me that my niece, who is 3 months older than her, actually was reading a book of an author I met recently, maybe a year ago, and I love her books too. And I was like, "What? She's reading?" So it's a family thing of sorts. We all read. Some read more than others, but yes, she does. She actually comes in here and argues about which book is hers. I don't know what the big
Oh,
deal.
really?
Or I'll think it's mine, and she'll. But the funny thing is, my mother and I used to have the same thing. Like, that's my book.
Oh,
Why are you
wow.
taking my book for yours?
You tend to do the same thing, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting, but it's passed on, right? The love of
Yeah,
it, because you
exactly.
teach them to love it. And I would buy her books and also read with her, right? If she was reading something, and of all backgrounds, you know,
Yeah.
she's reading something, I want to know what my child is reading so that we can discuss it, so that I make sure it's prefaced, right? Especially in these days where a little bit of everything is put in some of the literature and films you see, etc. I mean, she's grown up now, but as she was growing up, I think it's important to discuss it. And maybe that's because my parents did that with me, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It's the same
because
thing
like,
you tend to do with your kids and stuff, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. So you have an associate in fashion, buying, merchandising, fashion, well, you attended the Fashion Institute and Technology, bachelor's into political science, and City College of New York, at City College of New York. So
Right.
my thing is, I mean, I know through education, through experience, you tend to bring all of that into one. How does that correspond with you?
Well, I always say my journey was very unpredictable. As far as I had a plan, but I could have never imagined the way my career went, the direction it went into. I always throughout my whole life wrote poetry, fiction. I read a lot, right? So I was always writing and reading. Those two things, like I tell people I have books of writing as if I'm a rapper. Like how rappers would have their books, I literally have books like that. Um,
Mm.
so it evolved into, but then you get out of high school, you go into college. What are you going to study? So I also always loved magazines. We were surrounded by fashion magazines, Essence, Vogue, all these things, Mommy and Them. Besides cooking and and being great parents and being culturally, like, exploring culture as far as different events and shows. I love live shows. They also directed us towards other things. So it was like a meshing of all aspects of culture, really. They embraced it all. Music, we're big music lovers. So oh gosh, I lost track of the question. I am so sorry.
That's okay. So everything that you do, everything, education wise and all that, like for me, when I look at you, I see a fashion sense. I see someone who loves books. It's like, it just comprises of everything, you know?
Right. So I ended up at FIT because I wanted to study fashion. Right. And in studying fashion, I had to work my way through college. So I became an assistant manager at a local retail chain. Well, not local, I shouldn't say. Well, T. Edwards is all over the world. They were based in South Street Seaport. But
Okay.
when I went to the dean, and this is why I will recommend that even though you get advice from advisors, they do not know your journey and they don't necessarily understand every culture. Now it's a lot better. But at the time, the gentleman said to me, "So you're going to go for our bachelor's program?" I said, "Yeah, I would love to." what is that going to bring me? How is that going to change my life after getting my associates? If I go to the bachelor's program in fashion, what kind of job would I come out and get? Because
Yeah,
now,
you have to know
mind
those
you, I've been
questions.
working full time for 2 years as well as going to school for full time for 2 years.
Yeah.
Most of the students at that time weren't doing that. So I
Mm.
was sort of an anomaly. So he looked at me and he said, well, you could be an assistant manager. I said, really? I said, I am an assistant manager. He said, part-time then. I said, full-time. The man didn't know, like, I remember this interview so vividly, but I didn't realize that I should have gotten advice from someone else. So what I did was I graduated and I worked in the industry in fashion. And then eventually it's funny because I met up with another trainee, my friend Susie, in fashion, and she was like, Janine, you should go back to school. And I always wanted to go. I love school. Like I believed in, you get your higher education. That's what we were taught.
Yeah.
So I decided, she said, you always building a case about somebody's case, building somebody's case for something. You should maybe law is your thing. So I like politics, and I did like the whole history and how things are done. So I went to City College in Harlem to study political science. And it involved writing too, a lot of papers and things like that. So it filled all my needs. I
Okay.
also decided to do Black Studies there as like you get electives. So I had never done Black Studies, but I took some courses in Black Studies, and I took some creative writing courses, screenwriting, regular creative writing. And so I really had a full experience at City College, and I met some great professors. And
Yeah.
so at the time I was working in fashion, but through City College, I ended up working in a law firm as a legal assistant. And that was one of the top law firms too, because I was going to go to law school.
Okay.
But one night working late, an attorney was talking to me, and he was like, look, did you see how many times my wife called about my daughter's birthday event? And I had to say, I'm coming, and I haven't left yet. That if you love this, do this. If you do not love this and you can't give up your social life, well, if you know me, I'm very social.
Yes.
So I sat there and I really thought about it, because it's a big investment, right, to go to law school.
It is.
And that's what they were priming us for. And I was like, Janine, this is not really where your mind is. Your heart isn't in this enough. You like it, you're interested. I had learned a lot about law. I have a lot of friends that are lawyers, right?
Yeah.
And I ended up not doing law. And I went back to fashion a little bit. I moved and got married and lived down south a bit where my daughter was born. Then I came back, and then I realized that I had a inkling to be an executive assistant for senior executives. And that has taken me from law firms to banking, to public relations, to corporate communications. And throughout it, so I was also a legal proofreader. And that is where the proofreading aspect came in, because I was always, my mother also had an English minor. So she was big on grammar and stuff like that from when we were younger.
Yeah.
So we had, even text now, they yell at me all the time if I mess up a text.
Really?
Yeah, yes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I kind of decided to mesh the few, because, you see errors and things that people do, and you're like, she's so good at that. She's so good at music. I want her to look, polished, because people get turned off so easily to public by little things,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be good at everything. So I was like, I can help people polish their words.
Yeah.
And it happened out of a fluke, but that's how my career evolved into different industries and doing presentations and stuff. And I decided to, and that's how I evolved. Because through being an executive assistant, I ended up helping people in different fields, and you're helping leaders. So you're learning about that field as you help them.
That's why I say is like my motto. Life is like a puzzle. You do different things here and there, but it comes together all in one, Public speaking. I see you did public speaking. I wanted to know, for someone who has an issue with public speaking, or maybe they're have a fear of that, how would you explain to them or express to them how to get over that fear?
Well, I think I was blessed to learn a lot about that in school, in elementary school, in Canarsie, and junior high school and stuff. The main thing, well, now with video, it's really good because you can practice, right?
Yeah.
You can set up your phone and literally practice to the phone. And what I would suggest is, in this day and age, ask some friends that you trust to critique it or critique yourself, right? Take your the personal side out of it and look at it and say, okay, I see how I lost eye contact there. Oh, I got distracted here. How do you, and then, it is okay to ask the question, right? And YouTube, there's so many public speakers on YouTube. Observe them. Observe, for instance, you're an interviewer. I'm an interviewer. I watch interviews. I've actually been doing it since I was younger because we watch a lot of the news shows everywhere and the different interviews of different people. I observe them a lot, how they do things, how they carry themselves. How, you learn as you observe and read on it. Don't be afraid. There are books on everything as well, right? There's so much literature. You really, and they always say focus on something in the back of the room. That's a true statement because then you're not distracted by the faces unless you get comfortable with it and you can look at people and still keep your train of thought. Right.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to take notes, right?
That's a big thing. You have to do notes.
I lost track of that question because I didn't really take a note to what I wanted to see, where I was going. So I lost track of it. But you just got to be yourself and be honest with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. You definitely have to be yourself. So through consulting, like how I'm asking you about public speaking and so forth, do you prep people for this as well in what you do?
Okay, so why I call it ImaJin Consulting is a little different than the typical consulting. To every project, I add consulting because I'm a brainstormer. I have a lot of ideas, and all my ideas could never be done in my lifetime. So I share. If I see today how we did this show, like Nikki, that. If I see something, I'll text you and be like, so did you ever think about? And it'll be something off the wall sometimes. And people are like, what? But the thing is, even if you don't like my idea, it might spur an idea in your mind.
Exactly.
And so I believe in sharing, right? And then, or you might call me and say, I want to run something by you. And we collaborate on an idea. I do that with so many friends, be it promoters, business people, and it's any type of business because what ImaJin Consulting is writing for any type of business. I've had friends, for instance, in the beginning, how it started. I don't remember the exact year. I know it was before 2016. My nickname is Jin Jin, and I got that nickname from an elder. And one day I was just thinking, and it came to me, ImaJin Consulting, because anything you can imagine, I can help you convey.
I love that name.
Put the vision into words, right? And ImaJin Consulting on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Well, we're losing TikTok, but whatever. So
that's sad though.
It is because it's hopefully not. Maybe they'll reverse it. So I gave the name. I wrote it on paper and I gave it to my mom. She put it in a drawer because I didn't want to lose it. I was like, just keep it away from me. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I always was around a lot of entrepreneurs. And one day I was chatting with a friend when the social media thing first really was in the earlies, and I must have sent him a long-winded, which I'm a little long-winded. Sent him a long-winded. My text. Yeah, stop laughing. Anyway, so he said, "Oh gosh, why you text so long?" I said, "I'm a writer."
Yeah.
So then that sparked an idea in him. He was like, well, we have a promotion group and we want to do a mission statement. We want to do a website. Could you help us?
Yeah.
And I did. That was my first client. I did a mission statement for them. I proofed all their flyers. Anything they were doing, I kind of helped out. So it became a sort of, because I have a friend who used to run a PR company. So I learned a lot from her. We went to college together as well. So I kind of ended up helping them with a little bit of that too, on how to present things or how to word things better. And as well as they were very creative. So they had their ideas and they became my first client. Then he is a chef. Eventually he opened a restaurant or two. He's on his second one or third one now.
Wow.
And they just evolved into different things. And it's called Palooza Flavor. And Eswick.
Is that Palooza Flavor? What's the name of the chef?
Eswick is the gentleman.
Right.
That's my friend. He was in Cash Money before, Cash Money Promotions. I had done some stuff for
He's
them.
a great chef. Yeah.
And the whole bunch of guys are great. And so he had a restaurant, so he had a menu. I proofed the menu. Now, some jobs are small like that, right? And through that, I partied with these people. So they didn't really know that I did that, right? If it wasn't for that long text and him asking and me being brave enough to answer, because I wasn't really good. I'm better at promoting myself now. I'm not perfect, but I wasn't good at doing it then. And I couldn't, my entrepreneurial friends would always be like, you got to do something with you do so much for people. You're always supporting somebody. You have to find something. And I'd be like, when I find it, because I wanted to find the right thing and I wanted to develop it the right way. Right. So I took a long time, to figure it out. And then another friend, I was actually interviewing at a law firm and I met him at the elevator, and it was a college friend that I hadn't seen in years. And we were very close. And a bit after, we were working together in the same political science program. And that's where we met. And he wrote an autobiography. And we were just catching up, and he said, yeah, I said, oh, I proofread books, because I thought of it as proofreading then, right? Legal proofreader. I thought of it as proofreading. And he said, well, I got an editor online or something. And I said, really? Because his story was from the corner to the corner office. His name is James Barlow. And he's from Harlem. He's a Harlem native. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, but I do that. He said, well, why don't you take a look at it? And again, the encouragement from friends, right?
Yeah.
And so I took a look at it, and as I'm taking a look at it, I'm taking notes, because I'm finding things that aren't authentic to his background, right? Because I know him, right? I know our culture. He's American, but I know our culture. So I know, I was like, this doesn't sound like you. Like, you wouldn't say this like this. You wouldn't do that. So I took my notes and I said, let's have a talk. And I spoke to him. I said, well, I would change this, and this. I wasn't even thinking about business-wise.
It came just natural. Yeah.
Not putting this together with ImaJin Consulting. This is my friend, and I'm helping my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, Janine, would you re-edit this book for me? How much would you charge me? And I'm sitting there like, of course I'll do it, but like, what? And he was like, it's work. Like, he said, you brought up some great points, whether I agree with them or not. Like, some of them I'll keep the way it was done, but I understand other points. You're right. It's not sounding authentically like me.
Yeah.
And you can help me do that. So I did. And that was my first book.
The beginning.
And then, so this was 2016. I know that one. And then again, I just, little jobs here and there. I did some stuff for a spa. They had a newsletter. I would help her like clean it up. Like poetry at weddings, different things. And I performed some poetry here or there, but I wasn't taking it as seriously.
Okay.
Yes, and I wasn't focused. I didn't really know how. Nobody, like, I didn't know anybody who was doing it.
Yeah.
Right. In a more formal manner. And so during COVID, I was home. I got laid off.
Yeah.
And to this day, I don't know if it was my email or Facebook or where. I don't even if you remember Kevin Powell from MTV's reality show, the first reality series on MTV. Kevin Powell was one of the guests. He's a writer, poet, well-renowned. And he had a workshop, and it was free. And I looked at it. I was like, I should jump. That's cool. I would like a writing workshop. Like, that would be a cool thing to do. Thinking it's just Kevin and a few people, not even knowing, like, he's teaching a class and we're there. And I didn't like video. I didn't like FaceTime. Hated it. Okay. So, it's the beginning of COVID on job. Before I got laid off, I had WebEx and I had to do that with them. Okay, great. And, but I still didn't love it. So I signed up. The first Zoom they did, it was weekly. I didn't attend because I got cold feet.
What?
Because I was just like, wait, we have to go on Zoom. People have to see my face. I don't want to do that.
So nobody was like taking off that you had to put on your video.
I didn't even know. I got cold feet because I was like, wait, it's Kevin Powell. Like, this is a big renowned author. Like, who am I? Right. And then the second week I went on, I inched in. And then you have to, you feel like you have to dress up. I felt like I had to dress up. We're Trinities. That's what we do. I don't know. So it was my household. That's how I was brought up. So I tried to dress up a little bit.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's hundreds of people. Suddenly it's people from all over the world. I see a professor from City College that I knew, like, vaguely. I didn't know her personally. I'm seeing different authors' names popping in, like popular authors, but I'm seeing regular people too. Teenagers, older people my age, all over the world.
Yeah.
And he starts with a meditation, and it becomes this program, and it becomes interactive. He's in the middle of it. We're all talking. We're all performing when we want to, when he wants us, when we put our hand up. We're in the chat. And as you know, I type fast. I like to chat. So I was in the chat very active and on the page very active. And he ended up publishing a book of poetry. Oh yeah, poetry. And it was poetry. I think it was shorts, like people wrote short, I forgot what they called it, but there were 3 different sections of the book, and it was for charity and
Yeah.
just our expression of COVID, right? And I did a poem. And at first, again, I didn't want to submit it. And he's put out a thing in the group, and he said, and this is after 6-7 months of being with these people, like I know them, they're friends and everything, we're cool. And he said everybody did not submit, because it wasn't just me. A lot of us were probably like, you ain't submitting nothing for that. They don't mean us. They don't mean us. And he said, everybody submit. And we submitted. Then he said, and I need proofreaders. I need editors, right? So I'm like, all right, hi. So I ended up editing the poetry section with 2 other people, not knowing one of them was a brilliant sportscaster. I found that out after I talked to this guy. He's from Coney Island, worked with him for months. So it was very rewarding. And the book published on my 50th birthday.
Oh, very nice.
Like within that week. It was supposed to publish in January. And it actually published, like it was published the week of my 50th birthday. So how much of a milestone is that? It's like, it was sort of like a calling. Like, you know what, now's your time to dig into this. And it evolved.
I think that's the time we were speaking a lot. We started speaking about
because I have another
want to do, what I'm doing. Yeah. And that's why I say, look how the time has passed. 5 years after, or 4 years
after. Is it 5 years already? Wow.
And then,
wow.
Yeah. And then, it's just amazing how we've both developed,
Yes.
Yeah.
And how brave I am on camera.
I know. That's what I was gonna ask. So after that, are you more susceptible to going on camera, or you still kind of camera shy?
No, I get a little nervous before, but I'm more comfortable, because I honestly, my one child was in college and would FaceTime me and be like, what are you doing? Why are you FaceTiming me? I don't like people to see me when I'm talking. But no, those Zooms with that group every week, and you felt like family. It got accustomed to it. You learn how to control your little tics and stuff, and you don't fidget as well. I still fidget, but
that's what I used to do. Exercises. I used to do group meetings. Even though, I mean,
I did exercise too.
What happened? Yeah, through the pandemic, but it created so many different things. It created jobs, groups, unity within family, so many different things.
It made you brave. I find it made us take a lot of chances. Like, rest in peace, of course. We lost a lot.
Yes.
We lost a lot. It was a very difficult time. I don't want to polish that up at all. It was a struggle, right? Lines everywhere, things that I never, I felt like I read about in books. I felt at times like the rationing was like the Holocaust. Like, you can only get 2 meats. You can only get in certain areas. Things like I was very confused by that.
And things were very expensive.
It was very scary, right? And the illness itself was scary. However, I do believe if you were blessed to survive it, you were given the gift of time.
Yeah.
Because I realized how much time I spent commuting every day. How much more time I had at home.
Yes.
To just be, right?
Yeah.
To just think, to make these Zooms and make the time to write and sit and read and do what I love again, right? I always read. I read on my commutes. I would buy books. Okay, great. But I got exposed to so much more. The authors I was exposed to in that workshop, I didn't, I wasn't familiar with all of them. Some are just people in their house, and they're indie publishers. So that I want to talk about that too.
Okay.
Indie publishers are everywhere. They're on Amazon. They have their own websites. And I share a lot of these things on my pages at ImaJin Consulting. This is a thing that I just want us to know. We can digest books so many different ways, right? So besides Kevin Powell, how I was introduced to that was about 6 months later.
Yeah.
A high school friend posted. I went to Brooklyn Technical High School. And so a friend posted, she was starting a book club. I'm thinking again, not video, because this was in the early. I was like, it's a book club. We're going to join, and we have our personal little thing. We don't broadcast nothing. We have fun, and we read books, and we talk about them. I love discussion. Let's go. Turns out to be 4 young ladies who I haven't seen for 30 years since high school.
Wow.
We end up talking. Unbeknownst to me, she has a bigger plan. Tabitha, Her name is at Raining Words
Yeah.
NYC. We were the Raining Words Book Review Lounge on Facebook. The group still exists. I was in it for 2 years, as far as the show, because it became a
Mm.
show.
Yeah.
One day we're talking about a book and a friend pops the button and we're live. So next week we're coming to you, and I'm sitting there like, next week who coming to you? Next week who's doing what? And they laugh me to this day because my face literally went like, "You see me? Oh my God. Like what are we doing?" And they started a weekly show. Then
Yeah.
she lined up authors, and it
Yeah.
was independent authors. So all over the country, there are Black indie authors.
Yeah.
And because the books we were reading even before that, I was like, who are these people? I've never read her book.
Yeah.
How I buy books, I read all. Why don't I know these people? And they're good books. So the street books that you used to find the books not that you used to find on the street vendors, like downtown Brooklyn on the tables,
Yeah.
it's they all evolved. Some of them, like Quan used to be on a table. He's a Harlem author. Now Quan is a huge indie author, right? His business has blossomed. His writing has blossomed. He does public speaking. There's Monica Walters has hundreds of books. People don't know about these people, right? Casey Mills, another one of my favorite authors. Like I like a lot of them. And then there's the book club. So then I spun off into joining more book clubs because this is feeding my American side, right?
Yeah.
But I want to feed the Caribbean side. So before COVID, Marsha Messiah, I don't want to mess up name, and a few friends started Brooklyn Caribbean Lit Fest in Brooklyn. Of course, it's a weekend in September. And we used to train together. I used to go to the gym with Marsha in Queens, actually. And that's how I met her. And I saw this, I think she mentioned it in the group or she posted on IG. And I was like, Marsha, what's this about? Again, she knew nothing about me liking books or writing or anything. And I said, I'm going to support you. And I went to that weekend and I was mad that my family, I think my niece's baby shower was that. And I was like, oh, I can't go to that event because she had speakers. She brought Jamaica Kincaid. She had panels. It was brilliant. I mean, all over the Caribbean. And I actually was introduced to a poet that I now love, Kai Miller from Jamaica. As far as his work, he spoke on a panel. I fell in love with his poetry, and I bought almost every book he has.
What?
And and he's a poet too, so I like poetry. And he does essays. This book of essays, I think I have it here. The Things Withheld is one of my favorites.
Oh, beautiful.
By Kai. Things I Withheld by Kai Miller. And what happened there is, so Marsha started that Caribbean connection. I was taking notes, everything, and I joined a Caribbean book club online. So I was in Rain and Words book club, which I'm kind of working because I'm reading what we have on the list. We have a book club on Facebook where we interact with people, and we're interviewing authors. It was once a month then, and that was for 2 years. So then I'm going to the Brooklyn Lit Fest, and I'm like, I like events, but I supported my friend Greg, and they have blossomed too. I think they've been out about 5 years. That Caribbean Literature Festival has become an iconic figure in Brooklyn, and everyone should check it out. I post all these things on my page because there's things we can do that we don't realize we can do, right? There's business support. We can donate to our own, right?
So what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna interject this. What we're gonna do is the link that you have. I'm just gonna let everybody know the links that Jin is mentioning. We're gonna have it on my YouTube page, so you'll be able to see that. What I want to do now, so I want to put a pin in what you're saying. I want people to be able to see some of the projects that you worked on, some of the books that you reviewed, some videos that you have there, and so forth. So I want to go to a short intermission. We go to a short intermission. We'll just play some music, and then we'll come back and show some of the videos and some books that Jin has, because sometimes you listen, but then the visual would really let you get it. All right. So we'll be back on islandvybe.net with nikkigthevoice, Table Talk Show, Jin Jin, ImaJin Consulting. We'll be right back. Get along.
It take away all of my anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that. Said I'm falling, I'm falling. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling, say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings. Somebody send me a sign, cause you know that I need it. Carnival, come back to me, cause you know you're my healing. I said this soca is my therapy, therapy, my therapy. It take away all of my anxiety, anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Together say we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. So come make we strong up together. No place that I'd rather be. Strong up together. Right now is our energy. Strong up together. Soca is our part of it. Strong up together. I tell you so much on my mind that I can't sleep. I'm stressing all the time. I can't self-eat, cause I'm always on the grind. My body not keep up. Deep back and all of my mind whole week. Take your troubles and throw them all away. Get ready to run across the stage. Get ready, yeah. Get ready, yeah. Give me energy, real energy. I said this soca is my therapy, therapy, my therapy. It take away all of my anxiety, anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Together say we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. So come make we strong up together. No place that I'd rather be. Strong up together. Right now is our energy. Strong up together. Soca is our part of it. Strong up together. Strong up together. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling, say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings. Somebody send me a sign, cause you know that I need it. Carnival, come back to me, cause you know you're my healing. I said this soca is my therapy, therapy, my therapy. It take away all of my anxiety, anxiety, my remedy. I tell you that we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. Together say we all need love. Jump up and show me love, wind up and show me love. So come make we strong up together. No place that I'd rather be. Strong up together. Right now is our energy. Strong up together. Soca is our part of it. Strong up together. Strong up together, yeah. Only you can help me understand it. You and you alone speak my language, and I try my best to keep my head up. Every day I get stronger and stronger, I feel it.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here, oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, say money gonna find me, yeah. Blessings gonna find me, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Round and round, these seasons I've been facing, but this year, your blessings I'm embracing. Hey, healing have to come my way, blessings have to come my way. Winning, we winning, and we here to stay. Is the blessings me say will find me here? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss if favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell them the money gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss the blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Tell them to claim it. All of my blessings, my name it. With faith, me I go own it. Nothing shall get home it. a new day. All things in my past, yeah. Welcome to the new year. Me step out in faith and no fear. Blessings go find me, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss if ever gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Money gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss the blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na.
You're live. I've no price tag, you must be stupid.
Damn right.
Bunch of Bantan, Kabaka Pyramid, Junior Biles.
You seeks of only vanity and no love for humanity shall fade away, fade away.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He who checks for only wealth and not for his physical health shall fade away, fade away.
Skibbly bang, them a move too wild, a run down Kyle. What that them a do fi boost up them profile? Them a take it too far, more than miles. The example them a set fi black woman and child. Them sell out fi dollar bills and silver coins. Subliminally children a get hypnotized by them turn teenager. Them start improvise, start carry gun and take one bag of life.
Them some money and them god and them no need no other. Some of them really don't know themselves. Who no act like who no happy, yet no envy the brother. Your soul is better than all earthly wealth. My friend, you better know yourself. We see them a go astray and them no want no help. The father I go beat them with a golden bell. These thoughts I won't keep to myself.
He who seeks of only vanity and no love for humanity shall fade away, fade away.
Skibbly bang.
He who checks for only wealth and not for his physical health shall fade away, fade away.
Accurate. To be poor it is a crime, but look for who a do the time. Spending trillions on war, one couple billion half a dime. And the richest country, them were full of gold and full of oil. Them instigating tribal war and economic genocide. And down in the ghetto, them a come and sell with lies. And I make a bag of promises I no can verify. But this a revolution, it will not be televised. The Rasta man a open every eyes, so I can see.
The rich is getting richer every day, and the little that the poor man got, it shall be taken away. Do you hear what I say? Yeah, hear what I say?
You 1% to own the wealth, why keep it all to themselves? While the sufferers have it tight to them belt. The preacher begs some money, yeah, tell the congregation. The Lord help those who help themselves. The leaders are like feeders, the leeches and deceivers. The worst of mankind now shows itself. We have seen the transition, there is no love for creation. Each and every man a look out for themselves. Them say money and them God and them no need no other. Some of them really don't know themselves. Who no act like who no happy, yet no envy the brother. Your soul is better than all earthly wealth. My friend, you better know yourself. We see them a go astray and them no want no help. The father a go beat them with a golden bell. These thoughts I won't keep to myself.
He who seeks of only vanity and no love for humanity shall fade away, fade away. He who checks for only wealth and not for his physical health shall fade away, fade away.
Boss, I'm not coming to work today or any other day between June 2nd and June 9th because I'll be on board the Fatopia Cruise performing live. That's right, June 2nd to June 9th, 2024. The Fatopia Cruise. Get your cabins now. Problem Child Live. It's going to be insane. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Get your cabins now. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be a holiday.
Fantopia.
Yeah.
You're on.
Thank you. Thank you for, joining on Table Talk Show, islandvybe.net. I'm here with my beautiful friend Jin, and we've been, hopefully you were on for the first hour. There's so much information, that she could share with you. Jin, before we jump in again, right? I would like you to share your social media handles, where they can find you, if it's a phone number or an email and so forth, if people need to, consulting, editing, everything that you do.
Okay. So really, it's editing for any business, right? It could be proofing your website. It's from as little as proofing a website or a pamphlet or a newsletter to editing a book or, just working on a writing project. So my handles are on Instagram and Facebook at ImaJin Consulting, ImaJinConsulting. That's Instagram. On Facebook, it's ImaJin Consulting. I have a page there. Also, my personal page is Jin Jin, JIN 213. I post most things on like a little bit of everything on everywhere because I do more cultural on my personal page, but also on my business page, it's a melting pot of all creatives, right? Because creativity is a thing. Like there's writing and songwriting. I like lyrics.
Yeah.
There's writing in movies. I like films. I like movies. I like shorts. I like international films. There's writing in books, and a lot of this is accessible. So I share a lot that so there's something for everyone. Eventually, that's my goal. It may not show up all the time, but I read everything from urban to fiction to autobiographies to nonfiction to Caribbean to American to Spanish to Italian.
Wow,
I
Spanish.
love authors. Yeah, well, not in it's English. It's written in English.
Okay,
But
okay,
Italian authors, Irish
Oh.
authors. There are authors I love from different countries, and I love them all. It's just trying to, branding is a thing. It's hard. So I don't really fit in a box. I'm a bit rebellious, as Nikki is just buffing me for not sending my videos. I am honest. I did not send the video clips of me.
A month. We're putting it out there. A month.
All right, Nikki. Oh God.
But I must
everybody
say,
has something.
I must
Right?
say, with all my talented creatives, business people, consultants, editors, everything, I always invite you back because you're a wealth of information, right? You have so much to give. It's like before my show was an hour, and then when I came on Island Vibes, he was like, that's not gonna work. Your
I'm
show needs
surprised too, because when you said over an hour, I was like, over an hour? Like, what are we gonna do?
And we passed an hour and 15 minutes already.
Crazy.
Right? It's so much to cover. So I always say, you know what? I'm inviting you back. And when I invite people back, it's even much more. I let me tell you, I had a singer, songwriter, she's in the army and so forth. I'll mention her name, Rain, right? She was on here. She's in the army. She's also a performer, and she's married now. And I went through from the beginning now to where she's married. Now before she had, let's say, 3 songs, now she has about 10 songs and so many different things happening. And this is why I enjoy what I do. And I think that's why we connect as well, because you have a passion and you have something to say. It's just the passion that you have that I'm like really honored to be in your presence, or even to know you, to, all that stuff, So
I'm just Jin, but it's mutual. It is so mutual. Like you never know who you inspire. And when I saw you take it to the Nikki G voice side, when I was younger, like my brother was an actor on Broadway at one point, and his acting coaches would always say, "Oh, you have such a nice voice. You should do." And I didn't know how to do it, but I also was busy in my own life, so I didn't ask enough questions. And I think that's why I ask so many questions now.
Yeah,
I don't want to miss opportunities. I don't want people around me to miss opportunities. And it's funny because I was intrigued when you did it. And I was like, how do you do this? Because I want to know how people do it. Not just, sometimes it's not even about me. With yours, I am interested for me too. But sometimes it's like, how did you do this? How did you sit down and just do this? What did you pull from? Who did you use? Who helped you? How did you do it? And
Yeah.
I get inspired by them.
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't matter what it could be chefs, it could be the start restaurant. It's all I am literally inspired by creativity.
Yeah, and that's why I say on every show, that's why I started this show. I started with my friend and we decided, you know what, during the pandemic, people needed to get the information of how you survive in the background, how you make money, how you use your talents in order to, to survive, or how do you get your talents out there? The same way you said nobody you knew that was doing this. Nobody I knew was voicing. Everybody was either DJing and so forth. And a friend called me
Which
and
we know a lot of. We know a
yeah,
lot of
now, yeah,
we
through
love
the
music,
years and stuff. But that's how you get your talents out there, just by someone maybe recognizing you. How you said you did the different projects online and so forth. That's faith right there, leading you to your life skills of what is going to happen. For my kids, I would say, or for anybody, I would say that's your DNA. My son said,
My
my son
favorite song right
saw
now.
a net, a football net, and all he said was, "Mom, I want to play that game." He didn't know what game it was. He just said, so I was like, you know what? We're gonna do it. And I had that straight through life. If that is what you like, and I think it's because you see, your parents pushed you in, from let's say from birth. Your mom probably read to you in her stomach or something like that. My mom loved music. She loved singing. She used her voice. She was very outgoing. I have that outgoing side, but I'm a little bit reserved sometimes. But I do have that side. But I like singing. So my friend heard me on the phone and they're like, Nicole, he wasn't the first person who said it. You have a great voice. And that's how I got into voicing. I mean, on every show I say it. So, and my history. So that's how I got into it. Just like you, with all the history that you're saying, we never went in depth of that. So that's why I'm like, you have to come on the show in order to say this. And the same thing she's saying, she don't like to be on the front every time I ask her about video. And so she's like, no, I don't want to be, she's very modest, right? Very, very modest. So
well, you know what else it is too, though? It was always, so I should say this. Writing for me was also an escape, because when you come from a strict household, you're seen and not heard, you know your place and all these things. So it's like sometimes I just wanted to express myself. And in school, I was in all these programs where we were creative, we were learning about different cultures. And I just started getting notebooks and writing my thoughts, and it became poetry. But that was my form of self-expression, right? What I couldn't say out loud, whether it was angry, sad, happy, just silly, whatever it was, or what I felt about things when things happened, wasn't all bad, so you create a habit without even realizing.
And it grooms you for the present.
It does.
No matter what.
Our household was filled with music too, so
it grooms you for everything that's going on. So we're gonna jump into being an editor, but what I want to do some visuals. So my person behind the scene is gonna show some visuals, and we're gonna talk about the visuals that he's about to show. Anytime he's ready.
Yeah, do the best.
Jin, while he's setting it up, tell me about your experience with editing in the editing field. And
okay, so I love my clients. My main thing is I want everyone to look good. I want everyone to win. I want someone who is non-Caribbean to pick up a Caribbean book. I want someone who's Caribbean to pick up a Southern author's book. And I wanted you to be able to even if you can't relate, even if it's something new to you, if it's presented clearly, I find we can all communicate and learn what you like and what you don't like. Of course, right? You ain't gonna like it all. We're not gonna like it all. However, if it has, I've found, and what I've seen with people is they get turned off. There's this thing called oh God, I can't remember, DNR, a book, do not read. Okay. So what they do is if they read the first few pages, some people, they get turned off of it. They don't read the book. I don't have that disease. I have to finish every book I read. So even if it's a book I don't really like, unfortunately, I need to know what happens. So
at the ending,
that's just a personal thing. Everybody doesn't have that problem. But they DNR your book. And an author puts a lot into a book, a lot of money, a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of passion. Everyone's story they're passionate about, right? So you don't want your book DNR'd for little things like spelling errors, grammar, for people to think you because you don't get your point across clearly and they're confused, they don't want to read it. So my goal is to make your points clear, to ask you the questions a reader would ask, to double check. For instance, I read a book, and I always mention this book because it was frustrating to me because I had to finish it, but I knew a fact that was wrong in the book. So it's kind of petty. They said, and it was a good book too, but the girl was very athletic. The guy wasn't so athletic, a couple, and they visited New York. She ran around Central Park 3 times. He kept up with her on the first 2 and then stopped. How big is Central Park? Who? You a marathon runner? You running around it 3 times? So it's just I fixated on it, right? And that's the kind of thing. So that describes what I do as an editor. Up and it might say the river not there, right? But then when I talk to you in our verbal editing review, because some editors just mark up your document and give it back to you. I don't do that. I do a verbal editing review.
Oh, nice.
Because then you can tell me, well, Janine, when I grew up there, the river was there. It dried out because of blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And then it makes sense. So of course, though I'm technically right now, when your book is timed, it's right. So of course we keep what you say. It's not just the editor rules. A lot of people feel editors just mark up your stuff, and so they don't like to work with editors, or editors tell you what to do. Mine is more of a suggestion. And if something is grammatically incorrect and we debate it, we could debate it a little bit, friendly debate, but the author rules, right? If the author wants to keep it, you keep it. If I feel strongly about it, I'll tussle with you a little bit about it, because you want things clear, you know? You want, like I mention this all the time. You ever watch a movie, maybe Tubi? They walk in a door in a bad neighborhood and they never close the door. They never lock the door. That's writing. In the screenwriting or in the directing or something, somebody didn't catch it. I am the person trying to catch things, trying to catch it so your readers can focus on your story. We all have stories to share, and they're all important.
Okay. So now we're going to set up the video. We'll get back to the questions and question and answer and so forth. We're going to show a video now, and then I'll ask you some questions based on that.
I'm like, I don't even know what's coming from.
I'll look and see, and I'll tell you what it is.
Will I see it? I won't see it.
Normally we do so. I'm not too sure what video that was.
I know, that's why I need to go somewhere to see it. So I'm gonna put it on my phone so that I can see. I didn't realize I wouldn't see it here. This is so funny. Okay, so I think. All right, so that one was a book show I went to. So I attend a lot of book events, right? And what happened was when I started in the Raining Words book club, when I was co-hosting there, we would interview, and in June of 2022, we went to an event together, right? And it was something else is showing. Okay, so I think
no, go ahead.
So when we went there, we met a lot of authors. There were 20 authors. So the books you're reading, I was meeting authors in person, speaking to them, attending panels to listen to them, buying their books, getting signed copies, taking pictures with them. And what I decided to do was cover the event to share with people on my pages so they see what this author's about and meet somebody new. So I asked the author, to speak about your books, talk about, and I might ask them some questions, sort of like you're doing here, except of course I wasn't on video. But I wanted the focus to be on the author, right? Like this is your chance to kind of give an ad to my followers, to my friends, to everybody I know, for them to know this book is out there on your website or Amazon. They can read it for free or buy it. They can get it from the library. They can do it on Kindle or a physical book. There's so many ways to digest books. So in 2023, I just wanted to do more.
All right, here's another video.
Okay. And In doing more, I went to more events in 2023. I'm trying
That
to
was
keep
too
up with
easy.
those.
Oh my god, I got it. Yay, that was really easy.
I can't see what y'all are showing. Oh my God, this is not good, Nikki. How do I see? Where do I go? Oh my gosh, this is hard.
Go on the YouTube live.
All right, but it's showing me talking. I think it's behind. Is it a little behind? Okay, so these were
That was
events,
too
some events I
easy.
went to, some
Oh
authors
my
I
god,
met.
I got
And what
it.
happened was on the show,
Yay,
we
that
would
was
interview
really
authors. So
easy.
then when I met them in person, for them to recognize me and remember me and my friends, it was weird because
Yeah.
all my life I've been reading books and never met authors. I really never met authors. I didn't remember meeting any. And to have them physically and want to talk to you and ask you about you and want to tell you how they do it,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what I told you. I didn't know how to do it. So I
Yeah.
never published. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anyone that did it. And
Mm.
then you become, you get to know them, you get to know their work, you get to talk to them about their work, right? And so in 2023, I wanted to go to more events, and I went to about 7 events around the nation. And I also went to about 3 events here in New York. And as I found out about more events, because I was like, all these events going on in New York, and I don't even know, like you could literally just get up and go to a book event. Some are $25, some are free. They're in every borough at different times. They're every genre, there's Bronx's Reading has an event. There's the Brooklyn Caribbean Literature Fest. Sorry, my mouth flipping. And then there's the Brooklyn Book Festival. There's a lot, and they also have authors. People have book clubs, have authors, and you can buy a ticket and go to see an author and get your book signed and hear them speak. There's so much going on. Look at that King Ahsoka. When Marsha from BCLF had Brooklyn Caribbean Literature Fest, they had Marsha's mom on. That was amazing. She spoke about the book she wrote, and then she signed it for us and took pictures with us. For everyone who facilitates these events, they're hard. Some of them need donations. Please donate because it's our story. You were saying that earlier. We all have a story, and we have to record these stories. And that's something I've been passionate about all my life. I have some passion projects that I just think we need to record. Our elders are passing away, right? We're at that stage of life, unfortunately. And we need to record their stories. Even if it's just you might think it's personal, but it's our culture, it's our history, right? And it's a very rich culture. We should record it.
All right. How do you ensure consistency in style, tone, voice across different pieces of your content?
So branding is hard for me because I'm a rebel, right? There's certain things I like to be unique, and I think a little differently sometimes, out the box maybe. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I really, in 2023, when I said I wanted to do more, I also wanted to show up more online, because I think you even noted at one point, you said, Janine, your page. And I was like, what? Because I'm thinking in my mind, it sucks. Like, don't even go there. But it was about June maybe, and I have been trying since January. And I have a daughter who's amazing on TikTok at Diggs Domain. She's an artist. She does different segments. And I would tell her, come do mine now. No, you have to learn it yourself. So I had to learn it myself. I played with things. Some things hit, some things miss. My author friends and other blogger friends, book bloggers, and the book club, people would give me advice. They would say, okay, what were you trying to do here? Because I didn't get it. Or they would say, because they're like, I know you and your ideas. Or they'd say, this one was really good. Oh my gosh, that was good. So luckily, because I give feedback, I've learned to take it as well. You have to learn to take it.
Constructive criticism.
Right.
Yeah.
And I learn from it. And sometimes I'll learn tools. I do a lot of YouTube videos. I check. I Google things I want to do. And you play with it. You get better over time, right? My followers they've tripled at this point, right?
Wow.
Yeah, because when I go out, I'm meeting people. I support other shows too, as well. I support a lot of book clubs. I support a lot of interviewers, because I want to hear, the authors you're bringing to me. The people who do the book events, I support them. The award shows for different books and different things. I like to, you need to know what's out there. We need to read. And even if you don't like reading, there's audiobooks. I always forget to mention that. So I'm not big on audiobooks. I'm getting there, maybe. But because I have too many things going on in my head. But a lot of my friends listen to audiobooks when they're driving, when they're going to work, when they're at home and they doing the chores,
And
and they
it's
love it.
safer, you know,
And it's right.
if
And
you're a
it's a
multitasker. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So if just because you don't read, however you digest the story, and it could be history, it could be whatever you're into.
Yeah.
Anything you're into, there's a book on it.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, but it might sound more of a topic, but topics you could bring into books, and that's how you write your books or whatever the case may be. So someone sent me, I didn't get to listen to the video or anything like that, but they sent me something. And then I'm gonna get back to the editing questions and stuff, because right now time went by so fast. We only have half an hour.
Of course. Whatever,
right?
it's your show. We on it's your time.
All right. So they sent me this question that, well, a famous rapper, well, I'll say rapper, was saying that couples should split bills 50-50. I don't want, and then I'll tell you who the rapper is after. But she
You
said,
really doing this to me?
So let's say we're doing a book, right?
Right.
And this person comes to you and say, Jen, I want to do a book on this question about couples and how they should split bills and how they should live and so forth. What advice would you give them on how they structure it? And what are your thoughts about splitting bills 50-50?
Okay. So I think each couple is unique and they should do what is best for them. I'm minding my business. I know what's best for me. I'll keep that to myself, but that's from experience.
Okay.
So that's all I'm gonna say on that. But I do think every couple is unique. You have your unique way of what works for you. You know, some men like to cook, some women like to clean, and vice versa. The roles are whatever you make it and whatever works for you as a couple. That's how I believe in that. As far as a book, so with me, in my experience, the closest to that I've come is that people might give me a half of a book or a first third of their book for my input on it. I've been blessed to work with some really good authors, whether they're very experienced or not, and their stories are pretty much set before they meet me. I just help them maybe develop it. You give a little advice, and they kind of, because there are different types of authors, right? There's ones that just fly by the seat of the pants. They're called the pantsers. And then there's ones that are outliners. They outline the whole story and they know where they're going. Some know the beginning and the end, but the in between they muddle with. And so there's different styles of writing. So it depends on your style of writing. For that topic, for me, if you were asking me how to do it, I would ask questions that I would ask as a reader, right? Why did you pick this topic to write about, right? What spurred it? What inspired you to write it? Because that makes it relatable.
Yeah.
And then I would develop maybe 6 or 7 things you want to talk about. How do you want to lay out your book? Do you want to do it in chapters? Or do you want to do it by topics, right? And then the topics kind of intermingle because it's your style, right? What makes a book good is also your personal style. I personally believe that's what makes content good too. I don't like trends so much because it gets boring. Not everybody can do something unique with the same trend.
Exactly.
So to me, I get a little like, okay, here we go again. So I don't want your book to be like that, right?
Yeah.
I like to laugh in books. If your book is a serious book, then okay, it's serious. But what are you giving us? Add value. Flesh out your thoughts. I was working with someone on a Christian book even. And it had the Bible scriptures, it had different things. And I was like, okay, but you want to your topic is good. You can get other readers, not only Christian readers, right? So if you format it in a topical way, it'll hit them a little better, right? Because your topics are good, your stories are good, and it leads to the verse. And we reworked it so that it was better for her. And and that's all a part of the suggestions in the verbal editing review. After I've gone through it, I look at everything at once. So a lot of editors split things up. They look at grammar, they look at copy editing, like how you say it, what words you use, what tone you use, those different things. But with me, I do it all at once because I'm a legally trained proofreader. So I look at everything at the same time, and then I go over it with you. I can't really separate it.
Okay, so can you share with me any challenges that you had in any sector of what you do, whether it be editing, consulting? Just give us a story of something that was very challenging.
Um, it's sometimes, and this is what I'll get first to what I realized from what I learned is that editing is a relationship. Your relationship with your editor, everybody could love an editor. You don't have to love them. It doesn't have to work for you. Your style may not mesh with that person. It's a relationship. So if one person wants to use a certain style that they've done with another editor and it doesn't work with you, you're not going to give your best work and they're not going to be happy. And so you both waste your time. But sometimes, unfortunately, the only way to figure that out is to actually do it. So what I never used to do before, I did an initial consultation, but just talking about the process and asking you about your project, not the style you were looking for, and asking, does my style work for you? Right? Now I am very cognizant of doing that because I actually had a project where I worked with someone and it didn't work for them. And we were kind of, we love each other, but we were tussling and it was frustrating to both of us. Right. And eventually it didn't work out. Right. And I was disappointed. Of course, I wanted to stop editing. I was done. I was like, oh my God, I suck at this. You beat yourself up. And I had to take a deep breath. And, I spoke to some other entrepreneurs I know, and they were like, all right, okay. So that didn't work. All right. Okay. How are you going to resolve that issue? So that customer is okay and you're okay. Right. However, you two figure it out. And how are you going to move on? What are you going to do different? And I sat back, I took a break, and I assessed it. And I realized, you know what? You need to do this in your consultation. You need to check on your clients and ask them, maybe that part of what the person was saying is valid, right? Because I get in my zone, right? I'm an artist. I'm like Erica Badu. I'm sensitive about my shit too. So, so I'm sensitive about yours. I'm sensitive about mine because as it's my book too now, right? So if it's not your voice, I don't want it to sound like Janine. I don't want it to sound like New York if you're not from New York. I don't want it to sound like Trini if you're not Trini. I want it to sound like you. So I'm reading to develop your voice and your characters' voices and their story. So I'm hard on myself with that, right? But yeah, I've gotten a lot better at constructive criticism. I'm growing every day. Of course, you have to know when to turn it off too, because everybody has something to say. But
that is true.
Everybody right now, somebody's saying something. But look at Nikki. But look at Janine. That's what we do in life.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't please everyone because your success story or whatever you're doing might be someone else's downfall because they couldn't do it the way that you do it, and you have to do it your own way. That
and
goes
would work for them. It would work their way for them better. Right.
Yeah, and that goes for relationships too. I'll just tell you one thing. The one questions that I asked. Let me see. Okay. So the question that I asked you, just as you said, people have their own opinions and stuff like that. So someone wrote, so she wants a man to pay for it all, avoiding the question sums it up.
Somebody said that? No, that's not true. That is okay. So you don't know me, obviously. Let me tell you something.
They don't. So
I work very hard. I am into supporting everybody, including my man. If he's with me, he is very supportive. And anyone who has ever been with me will say that. I'm not going to name names here, but we'll just say that. I am and I'm not just saying I'm supportive. Like, I want us all to win. I do. So if you are in a household where everyone is willing to give their all, then you make the decision.
Yeah.
It's honest. But it should never, sometimes it weighs too much on one person. And if it's weighing too much on a person, I'm not a kept woman. I work very hard. I do things. I support different organizations and people, male and female. And, I think if you're giving your all to something and you talk through things and you figure out how you want to do things, but I just don't believe in a hard, fast rule on that. I don't, because if you're laid off, can you support everything? But at the same time, some men, and I will say that, so you're going to make me go there. All right, fine. Some men, if you pay for stuff or you do too much, they take advantage or they don't look at you as feminine.
And
look
that goes
trying
vice versa. That goes vice versa.
so yes, I am comfortable in my feminism, but I am also my feminine side. However, I also feel that you have to let a man be a man, because I've seen where it backfires, right? They want you to do it, but then when you do it, they're like, oh, you think you're the man of the house. I'm like, when did that happen? I never thought that. I don't even want to do this. So what are you talking about?
Wait,
So,
Jin, I'm just gonna interject a little bit. I don't know if something happened, but you kind of got cut off a little bit when you
I'm
were
hearing
speaking.
like an echo.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
So
go ahead.
so basically, I think, you have to be careful, because sometimes you can, as a female, you can help and you can do things, and the man may be okay with it. But sometimes some men, um, after a while, they think you're aggressive, or you're too manly, right? You want to be in charge, and it's just that they wanted you to handle stuff, but then now they want to change it. So we have to communicate better about when we want someone, what our areas are, right? That we want someone to help with or not help with, right? Because no woman really, I think, not every woman wants to take away your masculinity. We love a
Yeah,
masculine.
not everyone. And
We love to be treated as women. We love, to be feminine. But
yeah.
in this real world we live in, unfortunately, it's not always the case. Everybody's career doesn't afford them to take care of their woman the way maybe our grandfather did. The life he led, our lives are different, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a richer man would. Some women make more, some men make more, but definitely it's finding that balance, I think, of masculine and feminine energy, so that the couple is comfortable and they both feel fulfilled, right? Like, I'm in charge here, when and she listens, and not listens. I'm using the wrong words, but we communicate well enough that I can fall back and I can feel safe falling back and knowing you, my man, have it. And you can feel safe that if you need me, you can say, and we can figure something out.
Yeah.
Even if it's for me to do something a little more. But so there's no animosity or no buildup of, oh, she feels she all of that, or he feels she all of that. We have to, I think it's a constant evolution, honestly. Relationships are constantly evolving.
True.
So
True. And to not to end, but we're going on a very short, probably a minute or two break. I want to discuss, can you discuss a successful outcome or achievement from one of your consulting engagements or even editing? And then when we come back,
you want me to do this now?
Yeah.
I
Surprise.
can, it's all of it. All of it. And these are just some, because I don't have all the books I've edited. I've edited dozens.
Do them one by one. Let's see.
Okay, so this is Ray Lee's. I work a lot with her. She does like a book a year. She is a 4-book series, I think, and then she has another one coming out soon. This is Colliding with Faith. This is the first fiction book that I edited. The young lady lives in Seattle, A.E. Valdez. And we'll share these authors. I'll make sure Nikki has the information.
Yes.
This is a poetry book by one of my co-hosts on the show. I went to high school with her. She had a poetry book, Tabitha Rochelle. This is a therapist book of questions by
I love those.
Yvette Cia Miller. And she just said, I want to do a book. And I was like, you edit? She was like, can you help me? We met in a retail store. We were both shopping. Okay. It's anywhere. This is the book that my poem is in with Kevin Powell. The Year That Changed 2020 America, the year that changed America. But there's a lot of online books. I do urban fiction. I've done a few, just a lot of different genres. So, what I would say is working with so many that it's been successful with that, and I customize it, right, to each author so that you're comfortable. And I've been able to take on these very different, very unique voices, because I just love people and I love getting to know, I'm curious about people. So it's worked out.
Well, I'm not sure if this is your vision statement, but I like the statement you have, which your vision brought to life through words.
Yes.
I love that. That is very interesting. And I told you, I'm coming to you for my book. You're going to help me write my book about everything that's happened from beginning to end. However we do it, you're going to guide me through it.
Just be ready for the different Janine.
That's fine.
it's fun, but I want your best work, so I'm gonna push you.
Yeah, that's what I want. I love challenges. Through my life, I've always have challenging friends, challenging co-workers.
And that's why you are where you are.
Exactly. That made me a better person.
Agreed. Agreed.
So, okay, so I'll ask you the question when I come back. This is some fun questions that I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, I know you like your fun questions. Don't leave me out. I want some fun questions.
So when we come back,
the gentleman is complaining about that I didn't answer the question.
I know. Well, as you say, you cannot please everyone, but at the same time, everybody have, they
was right though. He was right.
Yeah. Him this morning, he's probably gloating right now.
Yeah, I didn't want it. I hope he was listening.
Yeah, they're listening because I have questions coming in now, but we're gonna go on a short, let's say 1 to 2 minute break, really quick. I'm here with Jin Jin. Whenever you see outside, it's Jin Jin. But other than that, it's ImaJin Consulting. So go on Instagram. Jin, you could give them your handles again.
Yes, it's at ImaJin Consulting. So it's ImaJin Consulting. And just, I post a lot of different things, books, everything else. And my contact information is on it. You can DM me. It's fine. And tell me what you're working on, what you're doing. It doesn't have to be a book. I just want to stress that. It doesn't have to be a book. It could be any project. And, the consulting part is it doesn't hurt to talk to me about it. And we'll figure out if we're a good fit, if I can help you, even if I can link you with someone else who can help you. How about that? Right?
Okay. Perfect. So we're going to take a short minute or two break and we'll be right back with Jin ImaJin Consulting. All right? Keep it locked.
Boss, I'm not coming to work today or any other day between June 2nd and June 9th because I'll be on board the Fatopia cruise performing live. That's right, June 2nd to June 9th, 2024. The Fatopia cruise. Get your cabins now. Problem Child Live is going to be insane. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Get your cabins now. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be a holiday.
Fantopia.
Take a little drink now. Party! You guys, it's your girl Islandvybe, and guess what? I am officially a brand ambassador and artist of the Fatopia Carnival Cruise, and we are going to the Bahamas June 2nd through June 9th. And guess what the best part is? We are leaving out of Brooklyn. We don't have to buy no flights, no hotels. It's just straight from Brooklyn to the Bahamas for a 7-day ultra premium experience, all inclusive. I'm so excited. We're gonna have 14 events on the cruise, on the land in the Bahamas. We're just gonna drink. We're gonna get lashed up. You're gonna see your favorite artists perform. We're getting everything on this boat. So make sure to reserve your spot now and come and chat with me because we will have a time with Fatopia.
Broadcasting live from Philadelphia, Islandvybe, Philly's newest and hottest station.
You're listening to IslandVibes.net. All your hits banging right here. Philly #1 Caribbean station. Best in dancehall.
Undisputed champion, heavyweight, world great. At the Met Gaza celebrate.
Call the Uber. Call the Uber now. I am coming to ya.
Reggaeton.
Algunos parecen todavía. Viven en el siglo de la hombría. Que esta regla es solo para ellos. Y que para tus hombres de maquilla.
Love in my heart, rum in the veins. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again.
And more. Islandvibes.net.
What's this?
Welcome to Table Talk with Nikki G the Voice, where we bring to you highlights of entrepreneurs, leaders, organizers, and much more. A broad spectrum of professionals, including chefs, artists, designers, musicians, and much more. Our show is a new brand of talk shows where we educate, bring transparency, and last but not least, fun. Table Talk. Get ready for our seasons, a roller coaster of emotions, all wrapped into one. Caribbean style. We'll cover our Caribbean roots as well, so keep it locked. Welcome to Table Talk. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and iTunes.
Own it, girl, you just own it, 'cause your body's on fire. Show me how to control it.
Table Talk Show is now on Island Vibes Radio. You can catch us every Saturday from 10 to 12 p.m. Log on to Island Vibes Philly or islandvibe.net.
I come on to party, drink some rum on break. So come on, let me take a little drink now. Party! You guys, it's your girl Anika Berry, and guess what? I am officially a brand ambassador and artist of the Fatopia Carnival Cruise, and we are going to the Bahamas June 2nd through June 9th. And guess what the best part is? We are leaving out of Brooklyn. We don't have to buy no flights, no hotels. It's just straight from Brooklyn to the Bahamas for a 7-day ultra premium experience, all inclusive. I'm so excited. We're gonna have 14 events on the cruise, on the land in the Bahamas. We're just gonna drink. We're gonna get lashed up. You're gonna see your favorite artists perform. We're getting everything on this boat. So make sure to reserve your spot now and come and chat with me because we will have a time with Fatopia.
To Table Talk Show with Nikki G, and we're also we're logged into Island Vibe Philly Caribbean station, and I'm here with Jin, my great friend, enthusiast, ImaJin Consulting. Please go and add her on Instagram. She'll give you her handles again. How you could, if you're a writer, if you need someone to consult, someone to edit. I mean, Jin is a wealth of information, all right? If you're now logging in, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about books, we're talking about editing, we're talking about consulting, and, so forth. And when the show is over, if you want to see it, you could go back and watch the show. I'll put all the links there so Jin will be able to, so you could, contact her and so forth. But now we get into the fun stuff because Jin says she won the Nikki G part of it.
Right, and I proofread for all businesses, proofreading, creative writing, business writing. So that's
right.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so before we jump to that, say everything that you do. I know you're ready for my.
Oh, there's a lot. Like any type of project, just hit me up about it. Once it's writing or proofing or idea building with certain things. If I don't know how to do it, or you're looking for something, you want help looking for somebody. If I can't help, I will direct you in the right direction, put you in the right direction. But it's not just books, right? It could be menus for a restaurant. It could be a newsletter. It could be anything. It could be a website. I proof websites as well. So, and I'm a writer as well. Write mission statements, different things. So you never know, bios. So. Yeah.
Everything. All right. So I'm gonna get to one of my listeners' questions, and then we'll get to my stuff. I know you want to jump into my stuff, or maybe I should jump into my stuff.
Listeners too. Let's go. Whatever you want. It's your show.
All right. So This is a little bit steamy.
Oh gosh.
What I always tell people is,
I know him. No.
what I usually tell people is, you answer it how you want to answer it. If you want to answer it because you do editing and this is what you think of, or however the question comes to you, you answer it. This is a free space, right? What sounds turn you on?
I love the sound of rain. I love the sound of rain. Rain is a very soothing sound. Even when I used to visit Trinidad, I used to read in the gallery by my grandmother's house in Mova or in Coconut Drive at my aunt's house. I love the sound of rain. It's very soothing to me. It's very relaxing.
Very nice. What is your favorite?
I know these people.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I'm gonna have to come back to that one.
Really? Okay.
It might come to me. I'm not sure.
Okay, what is your favorite word that comes to mind? Because this is a split thing. You can go back and forth.
Right. That's how you do it. I'm trying to change your thing. Oh my God. I don't, you just give me a blank by saying that.
Okay, so what word comes to mind when I say what is your favorite word? Don't cheat.
I'm not cheating. Okay.
One word.
I don't know. This is pressure. I don't need pressure.
You wanted the Nikki G questions. Come on.
I know, Nikki G.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that one just because it's you.
I don't know why that became so hard.
Really? Okay. Let's see. So now for these questions, what comes to mind when you hear these words? Editor. One word.
Thorough.
Consulting.
Collaboration.
Jin Jin.
Unique.
ImaJin Consulting.
Creative.
Nice. What would you tell your younger self? What advice would you give your younger self? I
was ready for this one. I knew that. I love that question. To be braver, right? Don't stay between the lines. You do what you're told to do. I was very obedient, right? I was rebellious inside, but I kept it inside to a certain extent. I wanted, the community to be proud of me, the village to be proud of me, and I wanted to follow the rules for them to be proud of me. I never thought of going outside the grain a little more and following my passion of writing, or figuring it out, like being brave enough to figure it out. I get that bravery and inspiration comes from people like you who do things like this, who I know personally. My daughter is a huge inspiration. Even my niece, she's a therapist. She does a page now. It's like people just create things. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Or she's studying therapy. She's doing a master's.
Okay.
It's that bravery in our youth. And I inspire and encourage it a lot. Her page is Authentic Self, actually. You got to plug them, right?
Right. Of course, of course.
We need it. We need the positivity. We need the therapy a lot. And the thing is, through all these people of all ages, that's the other thing, at any age. But if I had done it then, imagine where I would have been now if I did this in a few years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
I wish I had been braver.
Braver. Okay. What advice do you have for someone who wants to get into writing? Because some people okay, so I could relate to like a singer, or some people would be like, you know what, you can't sing, so I don't know why you're even trying, or something like that. Have you ever experienced that where you basically had to tell someone, I'm not sure if you understand what writing involves. Do you want to get into this? Have you ever been in that? What advice would you give to someone who's coming to you for the first time?
So when people come to me, they're usually already pretty sure.
Oh, right, to proof. Right.
No, they're like, it's editing, proofing. They're pretty sure they want to write. They have their manuscript already done.
Okay.
But people who are interested in writing, it's a craft, like any craft, right? And even writers, we're all at different levels. We're always learning. Be open to learning. I'm still learning. I'm always learning. I learn from them. They learn from me. We exchange. We talk, laugh at it all the time, because they'll be like, but you're my editor. You should. And I'm like, no, but I'm not writing the book. I didn't publish a book. I didn't sit there and do all, because as a writer, these independent writers become a full-fledged entrepreneur. They're the content creator. They're the publisher. They're the editor. They're investing in themselves. They're funding themselves. They're doing all these things. I'm just taking one step away, to be honest. And if I know they're looking for something up, they need a book cover. They need an illustrator. You know, bringing your vision to life. I'm doing the words, but there's so much more to this thing. You have to study your craft. There are authors who are like Christina C. Jones is a great author. She CCJ, they call her. She has a YouTube channel where she actually shares a lot of her process, her challenges, the good and the bad, and shows you how to publish in certain things. Shows you how, you know what, I have my own website. I sell books through my website. Today, this is how I'm getting them out. You know, the process, the steps, learning the terminology, right? You have to know your craft. I look at other editors. I read their work. I look at their YouTubes. I go to courses. I take courses. I give self-editing courses, actually. I do that too. If someone, like, I kind of coach during my editing, but that's part of the verbal editing review. However, if, you know, I've done a self-editing course for a publisher with like 23 authors, and it was really good. I was in Chicago at an event, and I did it from my hotel room, and it was so rewarding for all of us. I think we had fun, and you know, and it's hard because you're on the spot. Nobody wants, like, the editor should be editing. Why am I editing?
Editing, right?
Because if I'm looking for every word, you know how much you're gonna pay me? My fees are gonna be higher because I'm gonna need more time to check the which tool should you use, TO or TOO. I don't want to check that. That's boring. You know what I mean? Once in a while, but we are looking for the bigger things to get your story across. You can do a quick spell check, even if you don't. And that's another thing. Tips like that. That's a big tip that I like to tell people. When you use spell check, the person who created spell check may not speak like you. So if, for instance, you're Trini, and you say, we going down date, right? And you spell it DOWNDEY. That is correct for a Trinidadian character and speaking in patois. However, it's going to say down there, or it's going to say, what the heck are you saying? If you correct it to down there, your character no longer sounds authentic. So sometimes in spell check, it's showing, pointing you towards certain things, and you, the writer, decide. Do you want it to be perfect English? Would that character speak perfect English? Or would they speak Jamaican patois? You know, if it's Haitian, whatever, patois or lingo or slang, American slang. Southern slang is different from New York slang, from Texas slang. You know, you have to think of these things. So there's a lot goes into it. You have to hone your craft. Don't be afraid to learn.
I have a question here from someone, and then I'm gonna ask you a question that's trending on Instagram. Instagram? Yeah. From an artist, which is Nyla Blackman. She had just put out.
Oh, okay. I like Nyla.
You saw it? Okay. So I'm gonna ask you about that.
I didn't see it, but I like Nyla.
So let me ask you what someone asked first. What's your take on society, social media, TV, love and hip hop influencing on the young generation? I hope I read that right.
Okay.
What's your take on society?
I think I got what the person was saying.
Okay.
I think we have to have a balance of old school and new school in our lives. Earlier in the show, I mentioned when my daughter used to read books as a child, I read them too. Now that may not be for everybody, but I read it because I want to know what she's reading. I want to help her digest it if there's tough topics in there. I think we've gone very far from that. Like, the parents and children are looking at two different things and not really monitoring, but more, you know, finding a common ground so you know what's going on and you can kind of help them digest these messages coming from these different shows, etc. I'm going to do a brief point because as you bring up love and hip hop and it's a reality show, I want to mention that I'm very upset about how a lot of people are getting down on Wendy Williams. In my opinion, Wendy Williams, though she ain't my favorite neither, but I respect her. And she's my mother's favorite. Like, don't let my mother hear that. My mother loves her. But she was groundbreaking. And I think she
One.
led the way to a lot of these reality celebrity shows.
Mhm.
And I don't think they're giving her props. And I'm sad about that. Because whether you like her or not, whether somebody was nice to you, like criticized you and, did a bad rumor about you, whatever.
Yeah.
It's respect, right? Health happens to everybody.
Yeah.
So, be careful when you wish bad on people and give people their props. Like, I think she did have something to do with this whole reality phase.
Mhm.
In a little way, maybe it wasn't on TV, so they're not relating it because it wasn't like a TV show. And as far as our youth, I think our youth need to be reminded to take everything with a grain of salt. That old saying, right? I love my old saying. Take
Yeah.
everything with a grain of salt. One monkey don't stop no show. Like, you can do anything, but you
Yeah.
don't have to do it their way. That's
Yeah.
their reality show. That doesn't mean that's what you should go mimic and do. That is
Mhm.
not everything is for you. You could see it. You could be, and I'm entertained by it, right? I can't memorize every character or every scene. I might binge it once in a while to catch up with my friends who love it. But so I have something to discuss. But
Yes, exactly.
but it's not always real life, and it's clips. In clips, you do not see the full story. That's
Yeah.
kind of why I like books, because I see the full story.
Yeah.
Clip and film, people pull out what they want to show, what they want to sensationalize. And our
Mhm.
children need to be taught that to really assess things for yourself. Make up your own mind. Do you think that's the way to live life? Sometimes they're just acting. So do you want to, what if you get caught up in your reality being a fake life? Is that what you want in life? So I think there's a lot more interaction, and I think elders have to come down to their level, and they have to bring them up to our level and listen to them. We have to listen more, not just talk, not just
True.
teach.
True.
And we have to learn from them as well. It goes both ways. And I think that assessment would help us a lot better. And not always in a teaching manner. It could be in a fun, like, be seen and not heard. Not like that anymore. I think it's a collaborative thing too.
True. Well, Jen, I want to thank you so much for
This is so much
being
fun.
on my show. I mean,
Thank you for
we
having
were
me.
talking about it behind the scenes and stuff and, getting ready for it. And I always
I would have
believe,
never thought of doing this, to be honest. I didn't even know anybody would
just
be
like,
interested.
but just like everything else, the person said they love your answer. I have a couple of voice notes, but I'm not able to answer it yet. But everybody says, great show. You did very well today.
And if they put questions on your page, if I can answer them there, I'll log on and answer. I don't mind. I love to chat. And hit me up, DM me anything, you want to know about my services. Nikki, I love you. Thank you for doing this. Not just for having me on here, but I learn things from your show too when other guests are on as well. And the whole
Yeah.
team behind the scenes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. In regards to your content, when you were talking about your content, I was like, you're doing great. Sometimes we're hard on ourselves. I love this part where I think you went to, it was a book club, and then they had a festival that was passing through, and you guys, that was hilarious.
So that was in Pasadena. My friend gave an event, Loving Books. It's every September in Pasadena, California. So I'm in the hotel. We got a minute for me to tell the story.
Yeah.
So I'm in the hotel room, and an author that I edit, Ray Lease, I showed her book. She's in another hotel, like the room next to me.
Yeah.
And I think it was her or somebody else said, the parade is passing by. Maybe it was a blogger that was coming upstairs. The parade. I said, what parade? So I look out the window. I didn't see the parade, but I'm hearing the drums. So I'm like, wait, there's a parade? Okay, so the West Indian in me comes out, and I'm like, oh, I got to see it. Mind you, I'm getting ready. But however I was ready at that moment, I grabbed my phone and my wallet and my key card and ran outside. Forget who was meeting me. Forget the book event we're going to. Ran outside, watched the whole parade. It was an American Indian or Hispanic parade, something so, right?
Yeah.
And I followed the parade. The drums was there, the costume. Once I see costumes, I'm good. I'm a masquerader.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, and I'm videoing, I'm taking it, I'm recording. When the girl's calling off my phone, Janine, we needed to, where are you? I was like, all right, I'm coming back. Give me 5 minutes. I followed the parade. It was actually, the parade was almost to where the venue was. It was like 6 blocks. Followed it 6 blocks, videotaped it, ran back, got the rest of my stuff, then had to walk back the same thing to the book event.
I love that content, and that's why I think sometimes.
But it was fun and it was culture.
Exactly. And sometimes we might overthink content that we want to post. Sometimes I'd look at content creators and they'll be like, post the last thing that you have there. Sometimes you can because you know, you never know, you take an ugly picture or whatever the case is. But there's so much that you could post in regards to what you do, your books and stuff. But critiquing ourselves sometimes might probably keep us back from what we want to do. Having the confidence might probably keep us back from what we want to do. So I always say, you know what? Try to exude that confidence that you have. As Janine said, you could, practice. There's videos out there. You could go on Zoom. You could do so many different things. I mean, I have to admit, I have my practicing to do because the same way you were, I was like, oh my God, Zoom, people have to see my face. Not that I don't, they always say, oh, red woman like this and red woman like that or whatever.
Why are you always on us? Why are you also hard
Girl,
on us?
I'm always saying, listen, I'm not
Red woman unites.
I'm proud. But they once you have the confidence of what you're doing, and then they always say it's time and place, right? Because I believe that the stuff that I was doing before, I probably wasn't ready, I probably wasn't ready. And then
it was preparing you.
Through time and stuff like that, then everything was created. So one more thing, let me say this. Okay, so the topic on Instagram was wine, WHINE versus WINE. Honestly, I picked up WHINE because I was thinking, okay, that is probably the right way. But then other people say
what WHINE to me, what WHINE is? I want to go to Star. I want to go to
whining,
nagging, whining. If you're whining on a man, it's WINING. Why I think people get confused is because the wine we drink,
yes,
it felt that way too. But again, this is when spell check isn't perfect, and you have to look at the root of the word, right? The thing you have to go back to your elementary school English, the root of words, the cultural directive of words, because some words have an English, for instance, a fun thing I like to say, my grandmother, God bless, rest her soul and God bless her, she brought us here, right, from Trinidad. She didn't have, I think she got married so young, right, in that day and age, that she didn't, maybe she went to high school, she didn't go to college, but she used words like piracy and what the heck, these English words that I honestly, I was a kid, so I wasn't looking enough, but I didn't think they were words. And I read a lot of books and I'll be like, look, Graham's word. Graham used to say that to us all the time. And these are real words. You're going to catch, I don't know if tizzik is a word, but I mean, I can't think of all the things she used to say, but certain were really big words but they were popular in England. They were popular in the US. So to me, I'm like, she just be making stuff up. Like, where do they say that? And I figured it was a Trini word, but it was English. It was the English behind the Trinidad history. So the English influence on the Trinidadian history. So it's really, words are really interesting. And so use Google, use a dictionary. Look, don't be afraid to look things up. I look things up in books all the time. The Caribbean, I'm in a lot of book clubs. The Caribbean book club I'm in, I love them to death. Hi guys. The first time I went, there was a lot of intellectuals, and I wasn't gonna speak. And they said, Janine, and I was like, hi. I just think and I was a little intimidated. And then I got to know them, and I was like, wow, this is like a master class. We can learn from each other and read Caribbean literature. And so, be open to learning, just everybody has something they don't know. Everybody's learning.
So your final answer is it's WINE and no H.
Yeah, because you're whining. WINING. WHINING to me is
it's whining. Okay.
Harassing me.
All right. So everyone, thank you for tuning in. I said that I was going to, we had so much fun, and I say I'm gonna invite Jin. I know I have a couple other people that I say I'm gonna invite back, and my fun creatives, people who have so much to, to offer, and with books, you could go on and on about so many different things, and I want to see
in general, right?
Yeah, I want to see. where you are, even if it's like 6 months from now or 3 months from now, if you're doing a book club and you want us to know about it, you want to go live, this is what we do. We go live at events. We go live here, just to do a one-on-one, to talk, to give people time to talk about the history of it, because sometimes in the Caribbean culture, we don't get to talk about the history back in this fun way that we have now, So I want to thank you again for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
When I first started, I wanted to tell people the reason why I have my cute headband. I am going to do a documentary in reference to what happened to me. I had a slight accident and I fell down the stairs and I have a little bump here, but I didn't want to show it too much. It's really fresh, but it's gotten really, better than how it was. I sent pictures to a few friends and so forth. And thank God I'm alive, because I felt like I was going to lose my mind. Like after getting the bump and hitting my head, it was a huge impact. And how you see me now is not how I looked about 2 weeks ago, So I'm going to share.
Okay.
Oh gosh, yes. I'm glad to be on this show, because I was like, I couldn't miss Jin.
More than that, you're okay. Let's
let
start.
me tell you something. I was going out, and when I rolled down the stairs, I was like, well, I guess I ain't going nowhere.
You weren't meant to go. For whatever reason, you weren't supposed to be there that night.
Yeah, that's what I said. Things happen for, whatever reason it was, but it was my fault. I gotta say that, because there was a voice in my head that was saying, Nicole, you have too much in your hands. Too much in your hands. You have too much in your hands. That was it. That was my learning lesson. So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. I'll share my story. Probably the next show I'll do some home remedies and so forth. I am going to share everything about Jin today. ImaJin Consulting, please go and add her. Jin, say it one more time where they can find you.
IG, Facebook, IG or Facebook, at ImaJin Consulting. I'm on TikTok too, but we might lose that. So ImaJin Consulting. ImaJin Consulting.
Very good.
And try vitamin E oil. My daughter busted her nose and had plastic surgery when she was younger.
Okay.
And vitamin E oil helps get rid of scars if you put it on religiously as well.
Oh, really?
From the natural store.
Okay, good. So I'm going to use that. I'm using aloe, so that got rid of a lot of things.
Course.
Bump, girl. This bump, I just want it to go away.
But different phases, you have different parts of it. So
yeah. So I'm going to use all that. I've been doing home remedies like every single
I love home remedies.
morning.
That's where we come from. That's what we were raised on.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you for logging in to our show. It was a pleasure. Keep it locked to Islandvybe Philly or islandvybe.net. We have all our other DJs who's going to be playing. We have compa, we have reggae, we have soca, we have hip hop and R&B. We have so much.
Broadcasting live from Philadelphia, Islandvybe, Philly's newest and
voice at gmail.com, or you can email. I haven't put this email out there, but just use that for now. There's talktable57@gmail.com. So I'm opening that up. If you guys have any questions for Jen and you need me to, send it to her. You need to, whatever you need to do, just send me.
That's fine.
Any questions.
Any business, right? All business, right.
Any questions you have. All right. So keep it locked. It's a beautiful day. So go out and enjoy it. All right.
Take care. Bye.
Take care.
What's this?
Welcome to Table Talk with Nikki the Voice, where we bring to you highlights of entrepreneurs, leaders, organizers, and much more. A broad spectrum of professionals, including chefs, artists, designers, musicians, and much more. Our show is a new brand of talk shows where we educate, bring transparency, and last but not least, fun. Table Talk. Get ready for our seasons, a roller coaster of emotions, all wrapped into one. Caribbean style. We'll cover our Caribbean roots as well, so keep it locked. Welcome to Table Talk. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and iTunes.
Table Talk Show is now on Island Vibes Radio. You can catch us every Saturday from 10 to 12 p.m. Catch us live on Island Vibe Philly on YouTube and log on to Islandvybe.